A big reason why you may be feeling discomfort when you are sitting is because you don't understand how your pelvis and your spine move together. The way we move is a learned pattern in our body. What makes us feel good when we move is our brain's understanding of how to connect movement through the whole body. Hi, my name is Samantha. In this video, you are not only going to learn how to comfortably stack your spine above your pelvis, but you are also going to learn how to find the best mobility of your spine and your neck when you are in seated. So grab yourself a chair and let's get started. Begin by checking some ranges here. Turn to look over one shoulder and notice how far you can go comfortably. And then return to your center. Now go ahead and look over to your other shoulder, only going as far as it's comfortable. Notice what you can easily see on that side, and then return to your center. Now try looking up. See how far up you go comfortably without any stretch or strain. Come back to where you started, and now look down and see how far down you can go comfortably. So we're trying to check your easy ranges of motion. And notice which one was easier, left or right. After we go through this lesson, we'll see how those ranges feel. Begin seated at the edge of a chair with your legs comfortably apart, one hand on each leg. Let's revisit some movements we did in my previous videos, where you tilt your pelvis backwards, you look down, and you slowly round your spine backwards. Then come back to where you started, take a moment to pause, and then look up as you tilt your pelvis forward, letting your belly stick out and your chest lift. Come back to where you started. So we're going to continue going from the rounded spine, tilting your pelvis backwards, lowering your chest and your head, stopping at the center, and then lifting your head and chest as you tilt your pelvis forward. So we're doing this to clarify where is your easiest sitting position in between these two ranges. So close your eyes, start to connect to what you're feeling internally, and notice every time you stop at the center, do you stop at a place where you feel your back muscles are relaxed? They're quiet, you don't even notice them. And if you struggle to find that place, don't worry, it will come with practice. In fact, let's begin doing the movement smaller and smaller so that you can get a deeper sense of yourself. The smaller you do it, the more likely you are to start moving parts of you that normally don't move. It's not often that we are encouraged to move on a small scale. And it is extremely valuable to explore small movements because it is in small movements that we find the moving pieces that we normally tend to skip over. Our body is like a skeleton. Our body is like a puzzle. There's a lot of pieces to our system, and there's a lot of moving parts. And sometimes we're just not incorporating all moving parts. We don't realize it. We just didn't learn it. There's a lot of reasons. Let's just focus on the forward and how we can improve. So as you continue to do this, you're doing it smaller and smaller. And every time stopping at your center and taking a moment at center to see, are you able to find a place where your back muscles are relaxed? Your whole body is relaxed. Your spine is stacking strong and comfortably above your pelvis. Okay, let's leave that alone for now and just go ahead and take a rest. Next, place both hands on your chest and slowly turn to look over one shoulder. And as you turn to look over the shoulder, use your hands to guide your chest in the same direction that you're looking towards. Come back to where you started, returning to your center, and repeat that same side a few times. Remember, I'm not going to tell you how many times because I want you to focus on doing a movement that feels very easy. You don't feel any tension along the way. There's no rigidity. It doesn't take you into a stretch. You're looking for the smoothest route to look over your shoulder. You're breathing comfortably. Try to think of being relaxed. And if you're getting tired from something like this, feel free to stop or keep going if you're just feeling like it's becoming easier and easier. So if you're ready to leave that alone, go ahead and join me at the center. Relax your arms down and just take a quick pause. Remember, you could always take a moment to lay down on your back if you're feeling a lot of fatigue developing on your back. I know for some it can be really difficult to stay in a seated position and explore movements, especially when you've been dealing with chronic pain. So don't hesitate to give yourself a moment of pause. If you're ready to continue, again, place both hands on your chest and begin to look over your other shoulder. And just notice how far you go comfortably. Again, without any stretch, without any strain, you're trying to find the smoothest road to turning yourself to that side. Your breathing is relaxed. Relax your jaw, soften your facial expression. And if you're done exploring this movement, go ahead and join me at the center again. Relax your arms down and take a moment to pause. Now, keeping both hands on your lap, begin to draw one knee slightly backwards as you have the other knee move forward, which is a slight turning into your pelvis. As you do this, see if you can keep your eyes gazing forward, maintaining a center with your head. Think of it like this: everything can move except for your head. So you're drawing one knee backwards, one knee forward, and notice that that turns you to the side of the knee that's going backwards. And coming back to your center. And as you are doing this, notice what happens to your body weight. Do you find that you shift onto one sit bone? Let's see how it goes. As you do this, draw one knee backwards and shift your body weight more onto the leg of the knee that is going forward, and then come back to your center. Again, draw one knee backwards, one knee forward, and shift your body weight onto the leg of the knee that is going forward. Return to your center. Now pause for a moment, and this time, explore what it feels like if your body weight is on the leg of the knee going backwards. Do you find that it's easier or harder for you to turn like that? Just do the small amount, just do the easy amount. And now the next time you return to your center, take a quick pause. And this time, keep your body weight equal on both sit bones as you draw the same knee backwards and the same knee forward. Perhaps it makes you do a smaller motion. Perfectly fine. We learn a lot from the small motions. Okay, do that one or two more times, whatever sparks your curiosity. But now, let's try this on the other side. Quick moment of pause, take a full breath in, and exhale that makes you feel relaxed. And now draw your opposite knee backwards and your opposite knee forward. Keep your head looking at a forward point in front of you. Feel that your spine slightly turns with your pelvis, but not your head. Okay, now let's play with the shifting of body weight. So the knee that goes forward, can you shift your body weight more into that sit bone? And then return to where you started. Do that a couple of times, a few times. And notice what that feels like, the ease of turning your pelvis, the ease of your spine turning. And now, shift your body weight onto the knee that slides backwards. How does that feel? Do you find that you're able to turn more or less when you shift your body weight onto the knee that slides backwards. It's just a process of gathering information about different movement trajectories. The next time you come to your center, take a moment to pause. Feel your weight equally on both sit bones and keep your weight equal on your sit bones as you slide one knee forward, one knee back. See what that feels like. And just be curious again, which option of the three that we've been doing allowed you to turn with the most ease. Let's forget about what it should be and instead teach ourselves based on sensations and what feels right. This is an intuitive way to understanding and learning movement. The next time you come to center, take a moment to pause. You can revisit tilting your pelvis backwards, looking down, and then looking up as you tilt your pelvis forward and lift your chest. In fact, let's continue to do this a few times, going from the rounded spine. Let's take that moment of pause at the center before you go into the slightly arched spine. And as you're doing this, guide with your eyes. So be more intentional about what you're looking at as you tilt your pelvis backwards, rounding your spine and head going down. And as you start to come back to where you started, that middle ground, notice, do you jump with your vision? Does your vision just kind of go from one point to the next point? Or can you scan the spaces in between? So if you're facing towards a wall or whatever you're facing towards, notice if you can control your eyes so that you're seeing everything along the way. You stop at the center. You again lift your head and your chest, but you scan. You do an eye scan. Okay, then stop at your center. Take a moment to notice how you're feeling. Are your back muscles feeling a little bit more relaxed? If not, you could always take a pause. Remember, you can lay down onto your back. Sometimes we just need that support from the floor to lay down. Return to having both hands at the center of your chest and start to look over one shoulder. And as you look over one shoulder, think about the side that you're turning to and sliding that same side's knee a little bit backwards like we were doing before. And then returning to center, taking a moment at center and going to the same side again. So if you're turning to your right, you're sliding your right knee slightly backwards as you turn to your right. And then come back to your center. And now we're going to repeat this a few times, and I'm going to give you some things to think about. Number one, as you incorporate this motion into your pelvis, one knee forward, one knee backwards, does that allow you to turn a little bit more easily? Are you able to go a little bit further? Are you able to go with more ease? Number two, what are you doing with your feet? Is it possible that you notice the arch of one foot slightly lifting from the floor at a certain moment? And it's okay if you don't, but perhaps you do. Or be curious about the idea. How would the arch of one foot lift away from the floor as you're turning? And what foot would be creating that arch lift? Are you able to do this and keep your feet completely flat on the ground? Okay, let's leave it alone. Return to your center, relax your arms down. Feel free to visit the rounding of your spine and the arching of your spine if you just like doing that in between. Okay, once you find your center, once you feel rested, let's take it on to your other side. So again, both hands on your chest. And as you turn towards the other side now, think about drawing that same side's knee a little bit backwards as you do. And do the movement in a way that feels smooth as butter or coconut oil. And notice that when you incorporate that motion, notice if it allows you to turn a little bit further without having to strain yourself. And now I will encourage you to pay attention to your feet and see if you can do this with your feet remaining connected to the floor and noticing and playing with the idea of the arch of one foot slightly lifting away from the floor as you are turning. And again, it's okay if you don't feel that, but play with the idea. If the arch of one foot was to lift away from the floor as you turn, which foot would it be? Okay, I'm going to do one more. Feel free to keep going if you'd like. But if not, join me at the center, relax, take a moment of pause, maybe close your eyes for a second, and just notice, what do you feel right now in your back? Do you feel that it's becoming easier to sit? Have any of your muscles relaxed? Do you feel a little bit less tension? Okay. Return your hands to your chest. And you're going to turn to look over the other shoulder. Go ahead and incorporate that motion into your legs, into your pelvis. But this time as you turn, find a turn that you can stay. And you're going to remain in this gentle turn, and we're going to revisit the rounding and the arching of the spine. Very slowly, okay? You're going to slowly roll your pelvis a little bit backwards as you start to look down. And then you're going to start to roll your pelvis forward as you start to look up. Now again, the goal is to do this in a way that really respects our comfort. So make sure that you're only doing the amount that feels really easy, really, really easy. Rounding a little bit backwards and arching a little bit up. Scanning the up and down motion with your eyes. And then find your center. Return to your center. Relax your arms down. Take a nice full breath in. All right, let's try that on the other side. Take both hands to your chest and slowly turn yourself to the opposite side, incorporating that small motion into your knees, and stay turned to that side. As you slowly look down, you gently round your spine backwards, lowering your chest, and then come back to a center as you lift your head and your chest, looking slightly up. Slowly looking down, slowly looking up. How much do you go if you're respecting your comfort? If you're not allowing yourself to experience any sort of tension, pain. And on a side note, sometimes we have to imagine the movement. If you're really, in a place where you've been dealing with some strong patterns of tension, sometimes the best place to start is just following along in your head. I'm going to bring it to an end. Come join me if you'd like, returning yourself to center. Relax your arms down. A nice big breath in. And again, let's revisit tilting your pelvis backwards as you look down, gently rounding your spine backwards. And then slowly looking up as you lift your chest, as you tilt your tailbone back. Looking down. Your pelvis is rounding backwards, looking up, and your pelvis is tilting forward. Okay, let's bring it to a center. All right, take a moment, notice, how does it feel to sit here right now? Do you find that you are using less muscular effort? Now turn to look over one shoulder. Come back to your center. Turn to look over your other shoulder. Are you able to go further than you were before? Look up. Come back to center. Look down. Did those motions become easier? So let me know in the comments, what did you think? Was it easier for you to turn to look over a shoulder? Was it easier for you to sit in general? I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know what you think. And also let me know what other movements or what other moments in your life you find that you struggle with, or you find that you get the most tense. And I will create lessons directed for you. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss my lessons. I'm going to be putting them out every Monday so that we can all grow together, increase our brain map together, maintain diverse movement patterns for a happy, healthier quality of life. Until next time, I'll see you later.